Yo, what's going on guys, Arax here and welcome back to another video for Battlefield 1. Now, last week I was over at Gamescom and while I was there I had a chance to play loads of different games and one of those games was Battlefield 1. And while I was there I got a chance to test out the brand new map, the Sinai Desert, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And of course on that map there was also the new Cavalry class, so of course horseback combat, which is super awesome and we'll get to in just a second. And of course also test out the new elite classes, which I'll have a video on, a separate video on, which will be going up later on today as well, so definitely stay tuned for that. But in this video I want to speak about the Cavalry class. From the moment that Battlefield 1 was announced and I saw in the announcement trailer soldiers riding on horseback with sabers, I was like, yes, that is me. Screw guns, screw vehicles, planes, anything like that. Just give me a horse, let me ride on it, I want to ride into battle and hack people down. So that was pretty much my aim single-handedly for the majority of my playtime at Gamescom, to seek out horses and try and do as much as I could. So with that being said, the gameplay in the background is of course all of my horse combat. Now some of it was good, some of it was less than desirable. Of course when you're on a Battlefield 1 multiplayer map and you are trying to go after something in particular, whereas everyone else is just actually there to play the game, invariably doesn't work your way. So I got shot a lot while trying to get horses, I got run over a lot, but regardless I still had a lot of fun. So what I wanted to do in this video, where you guys can see the gameplay in the background, is just kind of recap what the Cavalry class offers you and kind of just talk a little bit about it. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, of course let me know your thoughts. But starting off, so for those of you guys that don't know, the Cavalry class is, well, the horse is basically a special vehicle, so to speak, in Battlefield 1. Obviously not as sturdy as a conventional vehicle, and if you try and go head to head with a regular vehicle, then you'll obviously get run over, but they're very effective at close quarters combat. You can of course trample enemies, so you can just run straight over them, plus you do have your saber so you can slice them. Now you do want to sort of be sensible with your placement with the saber, because you only wield it in your right hand. So from my experience, if you want to try and kind of cut someone down, then generally speaking you want to make sure they are to your right. I think sometimes it kind of lets you get away with it on the left, but generally speaking, bear in mind that your saber, you're right-handed, so you kind of want to sort of like approach your enemies with that in mind. Also on top of that, you do have a rifle, which is probably good for, say, mid-range combat. I personally didn't have much success with it. I preferred using the saber, but it is an option. So for example, if you see people a little bit further away, like you see infantry, and of course they're not within saber distance, then using your rifle is a genuine option. Or you could just speed towards them and hope they don't kill you in time, but that is of course your backup. Plus you can throw grenades from horseback, which actually makes them pretty handy at, say, like anti-vehicle combat, because if you find the slower vehicles that, you know, struggle to turn around, then of course you can run rings around them, dropping grenades, dropping bombs and whatnot, so they can actually prove pretty useful in those situations. Also, you can actually act as, say, like a horseback supply train, so to speak. You can drop ammo bags or bandages from your saddlebags, and that way you can kind of run around and use them to help your team, which again is really useful because of course if someone is in a big open field and you can't necessarily get to them that quickly on foot, then of course you can gallop over there on horseback, drop down some, you know, supplies for them, and of course you can then leave the scene. So that is pretty handy. Now in terms of the horse themselves, you could of course jump straight onto one from the loadout screen at the beginning of a match, or provided there is of course one there, pretty much like all the other vehicles. If they're there, you can select them and just spawn straight onto them. Alternatively, if you do find a horse around the map, then you can just jump on it. And similarly, if you see someone riding a horse, you can shoot them, kill them, take their horse, much like you would, say, you know, shoot someone out of a vehicle. And with that being said, it also means you're not bound to your horse, so if you do want to just jump off and, you know, run around and use your saber, which you can do. I did get one successful melee kill with a saber during my time playing, so that is of course an option, but you can then just jump back on as and when you need to. Now one of the most interesting things about horses is, you know, it's kind of an obvious thing to state, but they do behave very differently to vehicles. For example, if you try and run off a cliff with a horse, the horse will actually get scared and it will reel back, whereas in your vehicle you would just drive straight off. And the same goes for trying to jump over barbed wire or other kind of hazards. Basically, the horse does, at times, unlike vehicles, have a mind of its own. So it feels much more realistic. It doesn't just feel like you've got a horse-shaped, lifeless drone that you can kind of just sort of tell to do whatever it needs. It does still have its own mind, so it will only do what is sensible for a horse to do. So in that respect, it actually feels really, really good. It feels really like natural to try and ride it, but it also feels sensible and realistic in genuine combat scenarios. So it's safe to say it's really, really good fun playing on horseback. It's probably one of my favourite things about Battlefield 1, if not my absolute favourite thing. So I am super excited to go hands-on with this map again, and of course, you know, mess around with horses. In fact, when the game comes out, I might make it the only thing I ever do. But either way, that was just a little bit about the horses and the cavalry class. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Hopefully you guys found the information useful. As always, if you did enjoy the video, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. But aside from that, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.
Hadi yürü. Dikkat eyle.